Hey everybody, welcome to this new show, Hablando Success. I am your host, Jose Correa, most known as Pacho. And as we start this new show, I had to invite one of my best friends. And she's been with me since day one, literally since my first deal. A good friend of mine is Michelle Carno. So I couldn't start this show without starting to someone that I appreciate a lot and I care for so much who have helped me get to where I'm at in my career. Today, we're going to talk about keys to home ownership, how a loan officer can help open doors to your dream home. All right. Um, I'm joined here by Michelle Carno. Like I said before, she's a loan officer from the Federal Savings Bank who helps family every day take the big step from renting to owning. In this episode, we'll explore what a loan officer really does. How do they guide you, me, and so many other people through the mortgage process, and why having one by your side could be the key to unlocking your dream home. So we're gonna dive in. So Michelle, can you share a little bit about you, your background, and why inspired you to become a loan officer?
Sure. So, hi everyone. I'm Michelle Cardinal. So, I have been a in loan originating for 25 years. I originally became a loan officer because and Jose knows my story. I actually was buying my first home, and I lost my job. That day, my position was eliminated. I had worked in the casinos, and the person that my husband and I were working with was amazing. I had the opportunity after that to get into this business. So here I am 25 years later. And I think that my whole mission was to treat people like real people, no judgment, no nothing, like just an open forum. Like if you have bad credit, I help you fix your credit. If you don't have any savings, we teach you how to save. I have been a top originator in the country for years. I have built my business with, as you know, with Jose for 11 years in the Northeast office here. I do a lot of multicultural lending. I pride myself in that. I pride myself in first-time home buying. I love I love helping that first-time home buyer that didn't think that they could buy a home. So I think that's a little bit of me in a nutshell.
Nice, thank you so much, Michelle. Yeah, and I appreciate you being here and taking time out of your busy schedule. A question for many people. So, for people who may not know, what exactly does a loan officer do during the home buying process?
So, what a loan officer does, and then what we do, my team as loan originators, is we basically meet you and we talk to you because every home buyer situation is different, as we've found out over the years. So, we meet you in person 9 times out of 10. I want to get to know you, I want you to know me. I want you to feel comfortable with me. As Jose and I have talked about for years, you're not buying a pair of pants. You're buying hundreds of thousands. It's a huge purchase for you. So we want you to be comfortable with us. I consider it an educational process. So we educate you. We get your information. We go over that information together. And I'm going to start with basics. I'm going to take your credit score, your job history. How much money do you have saved? We put all that together, and then we come up with a plan. How are you going to get into your first home? And it might not be a month from now. It might not be 2 months from now. Some are very quick. Some I've worked with for 2 or 3 years to put them step by step, saving, fixing their credit. So that's what we do. Like we guide you during the process. We make sure that you qualify for the loan, and then we see it from the time we meet you until we give you the keys at the closing table.
Nice, thank you so much. I appreciate the process. Like you said, I know the process because we've been working for so many
Yes,
years,
yes.
and I love it. And clients love it. Something else, since we're talking about the role of a loan officer, what are some of the biggest misconceptions you see out there about loan officers?
I think that they think we're all the same, and I think they think that like calling a credit union or a large bank is a better way to go, and that's not the case. You're really better off with a local lender that's going to meet you in person and know your personal situation. like I said, we pride ourselves in getting to know your entire situation up front. So we know when we get to the point where you're putting offers in and I'm verifying your pre-approval with, say, the listing agent, we know your situation. I can verify that I have verified all your information, where so many other people are just order takers and then they haven't verified their information and you're made false promises for a home that you don't qualify for. When if we had just taken it step by step, you would have or could have.
Okay. Thank you so much. No, I appreciate that. Now let's switch it a little bit, right? Let's talk about helping buyers navigate the home ownership. All
Right.
right.
Hmm.
From your perspective, what are the biggest challenges first-time home buyers face today?
I think one of them is affordability, right? So one of them is knowing with the
Okay.
home prices where they are and income where it is. I think one of them is from the beginning getting their pre-approval, knowing what they're qualified for, and then working as a team with the realtor to so that they understand what kind of home they're going to be looking at. So when somebody says to me, one of my first questions once we in my initial interview is, where are you comfortable as far as your mortgage payment? And if they tell me 1,500, then I'm going to relay that to you, and then you're going to show them houses that are $1,500 a month. But we're also going to show them what they get for 1,500, because sometimes somebody might be willing to go to 1,800 on their dream house, right? Like, so that's it. I think it's a lot
Yes.
of it is affordability, and
Correct.
so many people will say, I only want to pay 1,500, but they don't understand that where and what $1,500 will get you, because they've never bought a house before. So I think setting,
Correct.
right, like setting expectations is so important. And I think that, along with the team that you establish, like it's so important that you work when you talk about what makes loan officers different. So I've prided myself for 25 years in making long-term realtor partners with people like yourself. So we know each other. So we know every step of the way so that we can guide the homeowner so that their expectations from the very beginning are realistic in what they know. And I don't think we've ever had a client in all this time that when they got to the closing table hasn't said, when we say, was this your house? And they're like, this was my house, right? But I think it's so important
Yes.
with
Yes. Yes.
affordability and taxes, and people don't understand that the Philadelphia taxes have increased so much. And I mean, when we first started doing this, let's face it, a house in Junietta was $85,000. Well, we know that's not the case anymore, but the house is still the same, right? So I think that's
Oh,
it. Like
yes.
setting
Way
it,
different.
it's so right. So I think setting expectations is a huge part of it. So that, and I always equate it to a wedding dress. You know, I'm insane about like say yes to the dress and those kind of things. I'm such a nerd. But it's like a wedding dress, right? Like I don't ever want you to show them a house that they don't qualify for, because no other house is going to compare to that one. Just like a wedding dress. If my budget's $2,500, don't put me in an $8,000 wedding dress, because I'm going to want the $800, and then the $2,500 one's never going to compare. So it is really, really, right? Like it's really, really
Yes.
setting like those expectations right up front. And then they're never disappointed. Like they know what house, they know what area, and they're comfortable and they're fine with it. But if they're going to look at something in
Correct.
a different area and then can't afford it, they're always going to want that area, and then that doesn't work.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hmm.
That was a lot, but it was given. You're giving them the real scenario.
Right.
You know, we're not
Hmm.
sugarcoating things right here.
Right.
Um, with that being said, right? How do you help clients understand what loans or options are best for them
So I think
or available to them?
right. So that comes with our initial meeting and taking their information, and then once we get all of their documents, we go over the different loan programs, and with that being said, different grants that are available that they could qualify for. And then I guide them. So when they're putting offers in, like I had one last night that was putting an offer in, and I gave them different options with different down payments, and then went over them in detail in person and then in the email so that they could see everything and the different cost estimates. And that's what we do, is we really pride ourselves in the education and the client really understanding like what's available to them, how much are they going to need, are they eligible for grants, if they, and then we set them up for the counseling that they need up front, for the grant, so that they're not stuck at the end and can't put an offer in because they haven't taken the appropriate counseling.
All right, good. Thank you. No, I mean, I like you said, we always differentiate our clients. We always give them the best options, like especially with the veterans and things like that, or
Yes,
people who are, you know, living assistance or they need other different little things because no two clients are the same,
exactly.
right?
Right, right.
So now with that, with that too, credit scores, right?
Hmm.
Credit scores and down payments.
Right.
I think that can scare people the most.
So many.
How do you and your team guide clients to that concern? Everybody's concerned about their credit and their down payment.
Yes. So
Let's be real, like everybody, don't matter what price point we are.
right. So a lot of what we've done, Jose, over the years is we do our first time homebuyer seminars, right? Which gives people
Yes.
a perspective of the entire process, right? So it gives them the process from meeting your realtor, picking your realtor, being comfortable with your realtor. We talk about the loan process. I talk about the grants that I have. We have a credit professional usually that comes and talks about credit score, and those sorts of things. And then with the years of experience that I have, I can fix a lot of people. Like I can look at somebody and say, if you just do these things, we can get your score to this. And I think biggest the biggest misconception is, and I always tell people, like it's the fear of the unknown for people, right? They're like, oh, my credit score's only whatever. I can't ever buy a house. I don't have enough money to buy a house, right? So how many times have we talked to
Mhm.
somebody, pulled their credit and they were fine, or they had to pay down a credit card a little bit and they were over what we needed them to be? We got them a little seller assist or a grant. And I think that's part of it, right? Is that initial conversation that's personalized to them so that we know their situation and then can guide them to do what we need so they qualify for the house. And they're comfortable because like you said, everybody's different. If I have there's some grants that go down to a 620 credit score. I have a gentleman, he's buying a home right now. He has a 596. We were able to do a manual underwrite with him, and sell it to a different, investor because of that. He has great payment history on everything. He just had a recent collection, is the only thing that came up. So, and I think that's part of it too that you get with part of my years of experience is I think I've seen a little bit of everything. So when it comes up, we know how to fix a thing or two, and we know how to guide them to fix things right. So I think that's important
Yes.
too. Like, and I think that goes back to your question about loan officers and picking just like a realtor. Like you need to pick people that are knowledgeable and that you trust because that's really important, through the process.
Nice. No,
Hmm.
thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. And you said it, I don't think we have ever turned someone away.
Never,
Never.
never.
I think if they're ready, of course, we move forward, and then in a few months, a few weeks, they buying their dream home.
Right.
But those who have need challenge, we have clients of us who have worked with us 3, 4 years while they fix their credit, they
Yes.
lower their debt,
Hmm.
or the immigration status changes because I deal with a good amount of my Hispanic community who sometimes the legal status here is not where it needs to be at the moment.
Yes.
But I don't think we have ever turned anyone down. We just have given them a little homework or guidance of what they need to do, and then we continue our follow up and connection until we able to help them. Right? So
And I think that's part of it too, right? Because that's what we always say, Jose. And if they want it as badly as we want it for them, they're going to be fine. And if they're willing to make the changes and do the things we tell them, then we'll get them there, right? And I always say to people,
we have a homeowner soon.
right? And we always tell people if you might not be ready right now, but if you do nothing in a year, you'll be in the same position, right? But if you take what
Correct.
we're doing and what we're telling you and you do it in that time period, you could be a homeowner. So what do you have to lose? Nothing, right? Like just
Nice.
listen to what we're
Yes.
saying and follow the plan, right? Hmm.
Yeah. no one said it was going to be always easy,
And
but
it's
hey,
not, right. No, it's not.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So with that, right now we walk them through all that path before someone starts looking for a home or at homes. How can a loan officer help them feel confident and prepare?
So I think that goes back to, again, what we're talking about, where we meet with them in person, we get them fully pre approved, we give them approximate closing cost estimates before they even start looking. So we've verified all their income, we've verified their assets, we know if they're going to need a grant, we know if they're going to need seller assist. So that way, when they're out there looking, we're confident that they're ready so that you can put an offer in based on that. So because a lot of it now, like you know, Jose, is if they can do a quick closing, they're in a better position, right? So if we've
Oh yeah.
verified everything that they have, you're comfortable and I'm comfortable saying, sure, we can do a 30-day closing. And then that's one more thing for the listing agent to say, okay, this is a good offer. Um, Knowing that they have a good team that has a good reputation, I think is another one. You and I both know so many times we come across listing agents that we've both worked with before, right? So they know that it was a smooth
Yes.
transaction. So our borrowers can feel confident that when I say I'm calling the listing agent to verify their pre-approval, it's actually somebody that knows my reputation and has worked with me before. So I think that's it. And then checking in, right? So if they're not a home buyer right now, that you and I go out of our way to follow back up. Hey, are you still saving? Are you still keeping your credit cards low? Still at the same job? And then we tell them anything that happens from the time you've met me, we're friends now and we're in this together. So if you have something coming up and your cousin's cousin asks you to co-sign for a student loan, you're going to say, hey, Michelle, my cousin's cousin asked me to co-sign for a student loan. Is that something I can do? Hey, my daughter needs me to co-sign for a car. Is that something I should do? Hey, Michelle, my car broke down. Can I buy a new car? And I'm going to say, well, you had this car payment. What do you think it's going to be? And we're going to talk about that. Even changing jobs. You can change jobs, but I need to know, are you staying at a W-2 job? Again, it's all communication. Like we stay in contact from that first initial time that I'm introduced to my client until we're at the closing table together. And we are friends.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. No, I love it. I love it. No, I love it because that's the process we have been doing, and I think as times go, we continue to progress with how we treat our clients fairly, equally, and make sure that we're doing the best that we can for them at the end of the day, right?
Agreed.
So now let's move something to a little bit more practical of a guidance for our listeners, right?
Okay.
Let's guide our listeners a little bit more. So if someone is thinking of purchasing a home, and I'm going to say 6 to 12 months, because if it's before that, we already kind of went through that,
Okay.
right? But if it's someone who's looking to buy a home 6 to 12 months from now, what should their first steps be? Should they wait until 6 months from now,
They should come see us
or
now.
how?
Like they should come see us now so that we can tell them where they stand and if they need any help. If they're perfect now, that's fine. But if they're not, then we can guide them. But what they should start, a few things they should start doing is making sure that their credit cards, any monthly debt that they have as far as credit cards, are at 30% of the balance. Meaning, if you have $1,000 credit limit, you should have that paid down to 30% always and keep it under 30%. You should start saving money, right? So set up a plan so that you open a savings account and start putting money for your home into that savings account. Even if it's that you're transferring it automatically every week. A huge thing I tell people is your credit cards, set up the minimum payment on automatic payment. If it's $25, whatever it is, you can pay any extra in an additional payment, but make sure that that minimum payment is on a automatic withdrawal, because so often I'll see a Kohl's card that's $25 that you missed because you're not thinking about it, right? And it makes a huge difference on your
Yes,
credit,
we heard that a few times.
right?
I forgot to pay my
Mhm.
bill,
And then keep it simple, right?
and it happens.
But keep it simple. Like keep two accounts, a checking and a savings. If you're moving back and forth, that's fine. but don't have all different accounts. Because remember, the more accounts you need and you transfer in and out of, that's what you're going to have to give your loan officer. So I always say that. Work as much as you can. If you're a 40-hour employee, work 40 hours for at least the year, like if it's 2025, right? Make sure as much as you can you're working 40 hours. If not, then you're put into a variable situation and we're averaging income. So those are the things like when we meet in person, we tell people, right? Um, the other thing is don't buy a car. We met with somebody today, and she said, I was thinking about buying a car, and then I decided,
Yes.
right? She said I decided to buy my house instead. Well, that's what we want you to do. Buy your house first, and then buy your car later if you can, because that way you have more debt to income freed up to be able to purchase the home, and it could put you in a totally different price range. If a lot of these car payments, $500-600 a month, you can't afford that sometimes on income now.
Yes.
So they're really it's really about preparation, right? It's about starting and preparing, and those are the things that I would recommend. No large purchases, like don't finance anything extra that you don't need to. Oh, Klarma,
Nice.
Affirm, all of those things when you go to check out on websites that are breaking down the payments, they're all added to your debt to income. So don't do those. You don't want to
Nice.
have
Okay.
those, right? And people don't realize
Yes. Oh,
that,
yeah.
right? They don't realize that because they don't hit your credit, but we see them in your bank account, and then we need statements for those, and they all affect your debt to income. So they're important
Okay.
too. It's a new Venmo.
That was great. You kind of went into my next question a little bit because
Okay,
that was what it was. Like, what are some of the common mistakes buyers make
right.
during the mortgage process, and how can they avoid them? And that's what you're going into, kind of, right?
Right. So cash deposits, like you want to ask before you deposit any amount of money, that's a huge one because you've been saving under your mattress, which is amazing. But that's not good for a mortgage. So you need to talk to us when you first go under contract. If it's been a while since we pre-approved you, right? Because if I pre-approved you, we talked about that, but you never know. Or if your mom is giving you money or any cash is something that we need to talk about. Those kind of things like the
Nice.
Klarma, Venmo is a big one. Um, we have people that I guess they get points for paying for things on Venmo. So like they'll go out for like a guys' night and they'll pay for everything, and then everybody Venmos them money. Well, if it's over a certain amount of money in one day, we need to source it, and I won't be able to source that, right? Unless all 20 of your friends give me their Venmo. So those are things like, don't be a player
Okay.
that night, all right? Like pay for your
It's
own,
things,
keep
it's
your
things
own.
that makes life easier,
Yeah,
but
that's it. Like
not purchasing a home.
yeah, no, no, no. Like you're going to keep it very simple. I mean, we're not going to, but they
Nice.
do delve further into things than they ever have, and they are worried about undisclosed debt in this day and age. And that is like the Klarmas, the Cash App now has one that I just learned this last week. Cash App now has, it's not just like Venmo. They have like a pay as you go system too, which is a problem. So I just say and ask us.
Eh,
I went in,
I think that's the best thing. Just as the professional kind of thing, that's what I always say,
and
right?
we are the professionals, right, Jose? Like, don't
Yes,
listen
we
to,
work hard at it, and
yes,
we study, and we go to seminars, and we do whatever it takes to make sure that we provide the best service that we can for our clients, because that's what we're here for, right?
yes, yes.
Um, and so, briefly, do you have a success story that you can share where someone thought homeownership was out of their reach, and then they made it, they became homeowners?
Okay, so let's think of somebody. Okay, I just had a buyer. I'm gonna say, oh, I have two because I have one that you and I just closed, and then I have another one. Um, I have a girl, and we were able to speak to her. She got counseling. She's a single mom. She was looking at getting pre-approved for a long time. We got her credit up. We ended up, not only did she get two grants and only come to the table paying for her appraisal, but right, but Jose negotiated um, furniture. Like she got some of the furniture right in the house.
Everything.
And
I
she
mean,
never,
TVs, backyard,
TV's
everything
backyard,
came with
and
the house.
she never thought that she would be a homeowner. And then I have another girl that recently she had been trying to buy a home for, oh, it has to be 10 years. And she had been saving and she was always told no. And she saw a listing of another one of another agent that I work with in the office here. And she ended up, we got some seller assist. She had savings. We got her a grant. And the look on her face when she closed on that home was she never thought that she would ever own anything. She was the first one in her family actually to own a home. Nobody had ever owned homes before. I mean, there's
Those
so
are some
many
beautiful
stories, like,
stories.
right when, like, I think back,
Yeah.
Jose, over like even just the last 11 years, like when I think about the people that came to us and in a seminar, like Devin's last one too. Like I just had one with one of the people on Jose's team, and he was about a year in. He had come to a home buying seminar a year ago, and he just closed on his home. And he literally texts me every other day and tells me how much he loves his house. Like no exaggeration. He's like,
No, it's not.
and no, it's not.
And
Like
like you
he,
said,
no, he
the one
never.
client we helped bought a home with what, about $800
Yep.
out of pocket,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what it
Mm-hmm.
approximately what it costs for an
Yep.
appraisal.
Yep.
And you became a homeowner for $800. But sometimes people don't believe the story. They think it's too good to be true. But if you just got to find the right person, the right team that's willing to work all the way for you.
I think that's
And
it,
and that's what we
Jose.
take
Yes.
pride of it.
And I think that's it. I think that you have to deal with people that truly care, that don't treat you like a number, and that are vested in the community and really want to see success stories like that. Like, genuinely, this is what they want to do. They want to help people, um, and they want to see people get into homes. I mean, it is. There's no better feeling. I mean, we have the move up buyers too, right? We have the ones where we've sold them a house years ago. Now they have equity. They're buying their dream house out in the counties. We have investors that we've worked with, right, over the years.
Yeah.
We deal with all kinds, right? Second homes, and I do mortgages in 50 states, 50 states now. So I do all over the country. So we have every type of situation, but it really just goes to, you really have to get to know the people that you're working with and know that I think it's a lost art that people genuinely care.
Correct. Now, yes. Um, One last question,
Hmm.
right? If someone's listening and wants to start preparing today, what is the best single piece of advice you will give them?
To call us now. I mean, is
Well,
that a
there
good,
you
like,
go.
I think to call us now, like, if it's even a thought, set up an appointment and start to get your ducks in a row. Like, we just met with a girl today. She came in, Jose met with her, then I met with her. Just, just set up an appointment and come in and talk to us. That's all. The fear of the unknown is the worst part. Like, I think that's it. Like, not knowing, and like I said, again, so many people think that because of their credit score, they can't buy a house, but it's, it's just not the case. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not the case. I think set up an appointment. That's the best thing I can say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michelle. I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but this has been such an insightful conversation. We learned today that a loan officer is not just someone who pushes or processes paperwork. They are a guide who can help you understand, right, the options of loans, overcome your fears about credit and down payments, and build the confidence to step into home ownership. So, Michelle, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. For anyone who's listening who wants to connect with you, where is the best place they can find you? This is your time to give your information.
So I would have you call my cell phone. My cell phone number is 609-713-9232. I can send you my app if that's how you're most comfortable. But again, I do love to meet with people in person, but we can have a conversation over the phone. You can call me. I'm available 7 days a week. You can call me anytime and you will always get me on that number.
All right, thank you. And to all of you who tuning in, thank you for listening. If this episode helped you, be sure to subscribe, share with a friend who's thinking about buying a home, and join us for our next episode. Until then, keep moving forward on your path to homeownership. This was Hablando with Success. Thank you all so much. Love you. Till next. Peace.
Thank you so much.